Okay, we are live on TikTok. We're live
All right, we are live everywhere else.
All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is day 2/night 2 of our live streams where we talk about the upcoming primaries. And tonight is another fun night. You don't have to watch us paint. We're not going to put you through that twice. So, so tonight we're going to talk about the state board, the State Justice Second Court of Appeals District, and then the Texas Senate. And so we're a group of organizers, and we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. My name is Lydia. I'm an organizer, a Tarrant County organizer. Alex, if you want to go next.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here with you. Alexander Montalvo, Tarrant County organizer based in Fort Worth. Excited for tonight.
Martina, if you want to go next.
All right. I'm Martina Van Orden. I am in Tarrant County, Fort Worth, organizing work, and happy to be here.
Ken, if you want to go next.
Hey, everybody. Ken Cool, Tarrant County organizer and advocate, here to talk about elections.
Misty, if you want to go.
Misty Anders Clemens, HEB organizer residing in the city of Hearst. Glad to be here as well.
And Leslie, if you want to go.
Leslie Lopez, HEB organizer as well, also residing in Hearst, mom of two, looking forward to learning more about elections and listening to some great music.
And also tonight we have a local musician. His name is Ladi. Ladi, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ladi. I'm a musician, artist overall. I love politics. I'm a politics enthusiast. This is probably one of the larger times that I'm getting involved in a major way. So I'm really cool that I'm really excited that there's an intersection for that to happen. But yeah, I'm Ladi, local artist, politics enthusiast. About it.
And we're so excited to have you here tonight. And we are going to share part of his music video. Ladi, if you want to talk about that real quick.
So the music video that you're about to see, I believe, is the music video for Magic, which is one of my, it's my project. Iggy Meji is me and my partner, my spouse, my love, Kayla. And together we formed this band as a duo, and we got like the rest of the pieces. So the song is called Magic, and it's just a song that I kind of wrote in a heartfelt manner to her. It was all shot, produced, recorded by everyone locally, actually in Tarrant County, to make it more relevant. So whoever recorded it is definitely out in Fort Worth. The people that shot the video are from here in Arlington and Irving. So it's a cool little bright video. It's nothing extra crazy. It's just meant to be like light and positive.
Yeah, and we're going to share the link so you can watch all of it in the comments. And I'm going to share it now. So make sure I share my sound. All right. Can you all see my screen?
I don't wanna be aggressive, but girl, you got me pensive. I'm open and receptive. Hold up, like, it ain't supposed to be like that. How you bend me over back so that I face fast? How you put me in a chokehold and make me loco? Make me button up my top button like I'm a cholo. It's a laundry. You got me doing laundry. You got me working on my acting, improving my tactics. So my friends say it's slapstick, I'm going batshit. What I'm feeling is that passion they can't understand. We don't need Tinder to matches. We got the antics and the magic. Magic, we got the magic, baby.
That's awesome.
It took a lot of hours to shoot that, and it was hot. It was on a hot summer's day, and I was definitely sweating.
I like particularly the line that says, "You got me doing laundry."
That one always gets people.
That's great. Well, we're really excited to have Ladi and all of the local organizers here tonight. Yeah, we gotta do a round of applause because that was an awesome music video.
Thank you.
And make sure you go check it out. We're gonna link it in the comments. And we had to support our local artists, y'all. So make sure you go follow, and we're gonna give you more information. As you can see on this side, I always do this, but Ladi the musician, you can go follow him on Instagram. And so tonight, yeah, we're gonna go over the different positions in the state government. And we also just wanted to highlight a local musician and get involved in the community. So you're going to hear from local organizers again tonight as we talk about everything, and it's going to be very informal. So if you have any comments, questions, please comment them below. So next up is going to be, we're going to talk again real quickly about what the primary is.
Right, let's get this pulled up for everybody. Let's see.
This is where we need them.
There, it's coming along. Uh-oh, let's see if I have another episode like yesterday. So
Every time.
all right, Texas primary election is March 1st. Here's what you need to know to vote. The last day to register to vote was January 31st. So unfortunately, if you're not registered to vote, as of today, February 8th, you won't be able to participate in this primary, but you can still register to vote today for future elections. So we want you to be engaged and we want you to register to vote. The last day to apply for a ballot by mail is February 18th, and early voting starts on February 14th through the 25th. And so we want to make sure everybody has those dates and is aware of those dates. We'll post this link to this article by the Texas Tribune for everyone so they have that. And so just to give some of that overarching information, this will be the first election in which Texans will be voting in new political districts. They have a map of the districts and how they've changed. Every 10 years, we have a census, and that then kicks off a redistricting process. So Republicans and Democrats will choose their candidates to face off in November for district-based congressional and legislative offices, the State Board of Education, and judicial seats. So you can use your address here to look up some information and find out some information about candidates, which we'll walk through a little bit later.
Alex, we're just seeing a sliver of your screen.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh no, what happened here?
Yeah,
Let's see,
it's
am
just
I
like
back?
a thin slice. There we go. That's
Okay.
Me.
Now you're good.
Good catch, guys. Thank you so much for that. So once again, the dates you need to know. To register to vote, you can go to votetexas.gov. That's run by the Secretary of State. And so that's available for you to be able to register to vote if you haven't already. You just won't be able to participate in this primary. But that's okay. You can start participating in future elections, and that's important. So mail-in ballot. So the deadline for mail-in ballots to be returned to the county is March 1st. Where do you need to drop off or mail-in applications? They must be received, not postmarked, by the early voting clerk in your county by February 18th. So if you want an application, that application needs to be received by February 18th. And the deadline for mail-in ballots to be returned to the county is Election Day, which is March 1st. If they're postmarked by 7 p.m. that day, they'll be counted if they're received by the county by 5 p.m. March 3rd. And so there are some timelines and deadlines around that. You want to make sure you have that information. Early voting will be, once again, February 14th to the 25th. This allows you to be able to vote early. And in Tarrant County, you should be able to vote at any polling location that's available. And you can check that out through Tarrant County's website, which we'll walk through here a little bit later. If you don't make the early voting dates, then Election Day, the deadline, the last day to vote is March 1st. And so we want to make sure that you get your vote in by that time. There's some great information about what you need to know about going to the polls that we highly encourage you to check out and to continue to get that information, the type of IDs that are acceptable for, providing proof around, your vote and getting your ballot and everything. And so once again, we'll post this in the comments. It's a great resource for everybody. All right, there we go. And I think we have now a live musical break. Ladi, take it away.
Worked. Hi guys, I'm Ladi the musician. You guys just heard a little snippet of my music from the song I have released called Magic. This is another one from the same project's group name from Iggy Meji, and it's from the EP we have out called Two Trees. Give me 1 second. Let me just make sure this is set right. All right, this is a song called Water. I'm like water, back and forth I go. Oh, I'm like water, back and forth I go. Oh, looks like I'm falling. Looks like I'm falling. For you. Ooh, for you. For you. For you. Oh, said I wanna dive into this waterfall. I wanna risk it all, yeah, for you. Say I wanna dive into this waterfall. I wanna risk it all, yeah, for you. I don't know where I've been lately. Seems like water's always dripping. All these whiskey bottles stay empty. I've been drifting along, 'cause babe, I'm deep as any oceans. Never still, I'm always in motion. All I need is a sip of your potion to fill with emotion and cause a commotion. My river look like ocean. You know she stays in full blue. If you need a fix, then come through. I'm like water, back and forth I go. Oh, I'm like water, back and forth I go. Oh, yeah, it's it. I predict in this moment that the imminent is also very clear, but irrelevant. Hey, overflowing in my own bath. Not much to do, but to follow on my own path. Where my thoughts clash and never lasted. I don't need the average, keeping me average. I just need a system and my thoughts to be marriage. Or we just go back and forth. It's gotta come natural, man. It can't be forced. Gotta go back and forth. It's gotta come natural, man. It can't be forced. Gotta go back and forth. Back and forth I go. I'm like water. Back and forth I go. Oh, I'm like water, yeah. Back and forth I go. Oh. Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate y'all.
Love it.
That was
Needed a little
beautiful.
more.
Awesome. Yeah.
Great, Ladi. Great.
Love
I
it.
love it.
Thank y'all.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Is that one out on Spotify?
Yes, that song is out everywhere on any major streaming platforms. It's called Water, and it's on an EP called Two Trees, because that's basically what Igimeji means. My band name, Igimeji. Igimeji means two trees. It's like for growth and stuff. So Growth, guys.
I love it.
Well, Ladi, tell us a little bit about the inspiration of the moment when you started writing that song and what was going on and how that came about.
There is a lot of backstory to it, but to try and keep it brief, I first wrote the song when I was living and working in Kathmandu, Nepal. So I'm a teacher and I taught. I graduated school for teaching. I got a teaching abroad program. So I went to go teach math, science in Kathmandu, Nepal. And through a whole series of unfortunate events that ended up happening there, I really shifted from being a teacher to being a musician. And Water was one of the earlier songs that I wrote because me and my partner, Kayla, we were both living there. And we both kind of decided to pursue being musicians full time. So we started writing songs together for each other, about each other. And one of the things that I think is like apparent in my nature is I'm very stabilizing. I don't think I overreact too much, or at least I've kind of grown to. So some people have described me as being like very watery. It's just kind of take the shape and the form and adapt with the flow as needed. I'm an Aquarius moon, if that means anything to anybody. I have a lot of songs about water. And in fact, some of my more successful stuff has been about water. So water is like a recurring element in my life. So that's just kind of a little bit of backstory. That one I wrote about 3 years ago. And then about a year ago, Kayla was like, we should really bring that one into the fold and fully flesh it out and finish it. And so she did. So we released it on the Two Trees EP sometime last year.
That is awesome. And that's just an amazing song, just amazing message, right? About being water, going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
So many great things coming from that song.
See, that's goals. To have your partner write you a song.
Damn. I write so many songs about Kayla, like it's not good.
If they don't write a song, I don't want them. I don't want them. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, well, we're going to jump into some of these positions that are on the ballot. As a reminder, we are talking about what's on the ballot for these primaries all week long. We started yesterday and we'll continue through Sunday. So I'm going to share my screen again and attempt to do this just a tad better. So let's pull this up. And we're going to head over to our Instagram account. So if you are on Instagram, follow @Tarrant4Change, and you can get all kinds of information that we're posting and content, not only about the primary, but also what is going on in Tarrant County community organizing. So we're going to start off with the State Board of Education here. Uh-oh. Is it coming through? Uh-oh, it looks like I'm getting another issue.
Everyone pretend like
it came through.
I see it. You're good.
We see you.
Yeah, it's coming through. Okay. So for Leslie's doing the State Board of Education, or am I?
Whatever you prefer, Lydia.
Whatever.
I think it. Okay, I can do this one if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so who is running in the 2022 primaries? The state government, State Board of Education. And here just are some of the quick facts. 2 elected positions total in Tarrant County. 1 elected position is currently held by a Republican, and 1 elected position is currently held by Democrats. And 2 elected positions up for re-election for the 4-year term. Is that correct?
Yeah. 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 So that one's split 50-50.
Yeah.
And it's, more State Board of Education members, but those are the ones that overlap in Tarrant County.
Correct. So it's good to at least see some Democratic representation there, because I know in some others we may not. So.
Yeah. So I think next is Texas Senate.
Well, we have the what is the job of the State Board of Education slide.
Okay.
Did you?
Is it coming?
Yep. Are you guys not seeing it? Uh-oh.
No.
Nope.
How about now?
No.
No.
Oh, no.
Alex
Is that
was
why
just-
you gave it to me, Lydia? Just kidding.
Alex was just looking at us like, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on here? So let's see. Let's try this again. I think this may be challenging my bandwidth to all of the platforms we're streaming, because this is the first time I've encountered this. So we'll see. We'll see if I can get some extra bandwidth here. So we'll try this one more time. All right.
It's oh, there we go.
Okay. There we go.
There we go. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, what is the job of the State Board of Education? The 15-member State Board of Education sets policies and standards for Texas public schools. The term is 4 years. And it's gone.
I may have to get an assist from Ken here. Ken, I may need to give you this link to share Instagram on your screen, because I think my bandwidth may be challenged here with all these streams going on.
That's no problem. Let me, I'm on the Instagram. Let me just catch up to which slide we're on.
All
Well,
right.
while we're doing that, I could ask Ladi some questions.
Yes.
Ladi, what's your? I was gonna make a joke. I won't.
Oh, go ahead. Do that.
What is? Where are you performing next?
The next performance that I have, well, there's a couple. So I'm playing a wedding down in Houston on Friday. I'm going down for that. The next upcoming live performance, like with me, either as a duo for like a public space, I believe the next one I have coming up is on February 12th. It's a pre-Valentine's Day show. Me and Michaela will be playing probably as the duo for another local artist called Apollo Soul, who's here in Arlington. It'll probably be at Dr. Jekyll's Beer Lab. So that's where I'm doing it next. And then after that, I'm over in the Dallas side, but I don't know if we can tout Dallas since we hear about Terrence for Change. So
Well, what is it? Where is it at?
there's this cool little spot that's like called the Wine Therapist. It's off of Skillman. And you've played there before. You and Marcus have played there.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Kayla are playing at the Wine Therapist on February 19th and February 26th. And then I believe I might be playing at Texas Live on February 24th with my Afrobeat full-on jam band mixed with poetry style music. And that's like a whole different project that we don't even have to get into. But Texas Live on the 24th, hopefully, and Iggy Meji at the Wine Therapist in Dallas on February 19th and 26th.
Well, you guys heard it
Oh,
here.
that sounds great.
Go out.
Do it.
Go out
Do we
and-
have them slides up?
I
All
have
right,
it.
Ken's gonna
I,
save the day here.
I
Let's
actually
see.
have it if you need me to. Okay, there we
Nice.
go. Okay,
And,
so
We'll hit the
go-
next slide. Hit the arrow for the next slide there, Ken. All right.
All right. So on the what is the job of the State Board of Education? I was at sets curriculum standards, reviews and adopts textbooks, establishes graduation requirements. It reviews rules for certifying educators. It reviews proposals to award new charter schools. The board oversees the Texas Permanent School Fund, an endowment that funds charter schools, pays for public school textbooks, and guarantees bonds issued by local school districts.
So this
Awesome.
matters. All of these positions really matter.
Yes.
That really does.
Yeah, and for a 15-member board for Tarrant County to have 2 of those seats that we influence, that means, Tarrant County has a pretty good amount of influence on the State Board of Education. So who we elect is going to be critical in terms of these decisions. And so it's so important for people to be plugged in and electing people that are going to represent the best for public education, the best for students in Texas.
Alex.
All right, next up, we're going to go to our Texas Senate slide. So Ken, you'll have to close this one, and then we'll pull up the Texas state senators, which is, there we go, right there.
Make sure to follow our Instagram.
It's the purplish one there, Ken. Yep, there you go.
That was red.
Yeah, I may be colorblind too. Maroonish, right? Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not fully red. Sorry, it was a mix between purple and red. So we're both right.
Magenta.
All right, and this is Ken actually reading this
And I
one.
was going to read them too. So how perfect. Cool. So who is running in the 2022 primaries? We continue our slides to state government, Texas state senators. So 4 elected positions total in Tarrant County. So 4 state senators represent Tarrant County. 3 of the elected positions are currently held by Republicans. 1 elected position is currently held by a Democrat. There are 4 elected positions up for re-election, and it's a 4-year term for state senators. 1 elected position has no Democrat running, meaning a Republican in that race is running unopposed. The job of Texas senators. There are 31 senators in the state of Texas, the upper chamber of the Texas state legislature. Just like the US Senate, it's the smaller body than the representatives. There's less of them. Term is 4 years. They write and vote on state laws. They propose state constitutional amendments that are voted on by statewide ballot. Votes to uphold or overturn a governor's veto. And the Senate can hold impeachment trials against statewide office holders.
What a super important job.
Right? Okay, so one of the Senate districts in Tarrant
We're actually
County.
going to go through candidates here a little bit later, Ken.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I think next up is the Justice Second Court of Appeals District. And that one, if you scroll up, yeah, it's the green one, the muddy green one. All right, so who's running in the 2020 primaries? Wait, 2022 primary? I always do that. The state government Justice Second Court of Appeals District. So there's 7 elected positions total in Tarrant County, and 7 elected positions are currently held by Republicans. But 1 elected position is up for re-election, and that is a 6-year term. So what is the job? So we got all this information too from Tarrant Votes. So make sure you go follow them. You can follow them on Facebook, and you can also check them out at tarrantvotes.com. So the job of the Justice Second Court of Appeals District is they have 7 members. It is one of the 14 appeals courts in Texas. The term is 6 years. And they review cases that are appealed from district and county courts, including civil and criminal cases, but not death penalty cases. Some things to note: civil law deals with behavior that injures an individual or other private property, such as a corporation. Criminal law deals with behavior that is an offense against a public, society, or the state, even if the victim is an individual. So all 7 of those positions that overlap in Tarrant County are held by Republicans.
All right. And Ken, to ask for one more favor, we're going to go to tarrantvotes.com to highlight their website. They do an amazing job. Our community-based community organizers who are building this website. So Tarrant County residents have as many resources at their fingertips that they need for every election. And so here you'll see they have information to register or verify registration that you can check on for this primary, and you can get different information. So we're going to go to their menu, Ken, where it says March 1st, 2022, and we're going to go to state government that is listed. And for us, we're going to go to the Texas State Board of Education. There you go. and we'll click on that page. And you'll see that there's the description for this. And for the annual salary, there's no salary, but they are eligible for reimbursement for expenses. So this is much different from yesterday's conversation where a U.S. House of Representatives for U.S. Congress gets $174,000 salary for their role. State Board of Education in Texas doesn't get an annual salary. And so if we click on District 11, we can take a look at that page. And you can see where they have the candidates information. So you can get more information on the candidates, their platforms, where they have their information. And they send out a questionnaire. And if they've gotten responses from the questionnaire, it'll be listed on these pages where they have the candidates information listed. And so if there are no responses, they won't have them there, but a great resource for Tarrant County residents to use. And so we love getting to highlight their work and share that in the information so that everybody has them as a resource. All right.
James.
Oh, go ahead, Ladi.
I see James Whitfield on there for the Democratic primary, but it says he's withdrawn.
That is correct. He did file to run for this State Board of Education seat, but decided to withdraw after further consideration.
Gotcha. Maybe he's considering another position or something. That'd be cool.
And one thing to note, which I guess we'll talk about it, which is very interesting, DC Caldwell is running for both Republican and Democrat primary. Which was shown on the screen. But I guess we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah. All right. Well, that takes us to our next music break with Ladi. So you got another song for us. We'd love to hear it.
I do. So I wrote this I wrote this by myself whenever I was kind of just going through like a mental, emotional clash back and forth. And people always talk about like mind games being a theme, like a song, somebody treating you wrong or doing you different. I think I had a different twist on what that looked like. So I just kind of wrote this to myself and it was more just movements. So hopefully you guys like it. No, I won't share my sorry stories with you. Sorry, luckily I'm not gonna worry about a thing. Yeah. This is oh so temporary. What's the worst it could come to be? Turn the mind around and you'll see what I mean. It's a mind game. Gone south for the winter. It's a mind game. Yeah. It's not meant for beginners. It's a mind game. Going south for the winter. It's a mind game. Yeah. Spark course for the winners. But I'm still here for you. Know that I'm still all in with you. It's what I tell myself. It's true. It's what I tell myself. It's the truth. Yeah. I'm sick of saying that I'm sorry, but my mind's made up. I'm leaving in the morning. Gonna buy a new Ferrari, and I look so fly. It's really gonna blow your mind. I'll be eating calamari on the soft, soft sands of the beach near Conopari. Oh, said I know, oh, 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 I'm still here for you. Know that I'm still all lives with you. 'Cause it's what I tell myself is true. It's what I tell myself is the truth. So that one's a little sadder, but I'll do a little upbeat one next time or something.
That was amazing.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
I love the flow of your music. It's just like so chill. I'm just
There
like,
is to it.
it is. It
can
really
be-
is. It's good.
There'll be like more layers to it. Like if I had, I might bring Kayla in with me to ask her to do the third one if she's feeling like her voice is up to it. And then you kind of see there's some harmony stacks in there and just elements meant to kind of uplift and elevate. I've always felt like music should definitely be something that like includes us more. It always kind of already has that stigma and energy about it because we all like to like either party at the club or throw our hands up or whatever. But there's also another element to just like speaking to those experiences that are sometimes uncomfortable to discuss.
Yeah.
Much like elections and politics. So I might
Yes.
just write a song about that. I've never explicitly put my energy towards it, but that might be something I do.
You're gonna be
That
called.
would be awesome.
I'm a big fan. Like, see the sweater. It says,
Yeah,
"Vote
that would
Save
be an
America."
amazing. That would be an amazing song, Ladi. I'm already feeling that vibe. Like, yeah,
I got to do it without throwing shade at any other like body of constituents or something, or any other body of voters or caucus. I can't just like,
absolutely.
it has to be unifying. So somehow a unifying political song.
Go for it.
That's UPS, a unifying political song.
There it
Oh,
is.
there you go. Oh,
Yeah. All right, there's something in there. There's an idea in
And
Excuse Ladi.
delivering a good package. Go ahead.
there.
guys.
We have so many disenfranchised voters in Tarrant County, in Texas, in our country. You know, having a song to bring them, to unite them, to motivate them, to encourage them, I think that would be amazing. And so, yeah, love to see if you decide to move forward on that. And we'd love to have it, to hear it, to be able to share it in so many different spaces.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, Ken, we've got you up next to kind of share the tools that voters have to find out who represents them, to take a look at a sample ballot. And so take it
Do
away
that.
for us.
I'm ready. All right, so hopefully you're seeing Google search results. I just typed in who represents me. And if you do that here in Texas, the first one that comes up is going to be your Texas search. So you can do it real easy without even having the link, although Lydia will share later that she's got a bit.ly link that made it really efficient for you to look up. But all you do then is type in your address. I'm going to type in the address for Pascal High School here in Fort Worth. And it'll pull up this map, and on the left side of the map, we'll have your US congressman, congressperson, your House rep, your state senator, your Board of Education rep, and then your two US senators. If you click on any one of them, didn't mean to do that actually, it'll open that person's page, the state government site. So this is pretty cut and dry with explaining who these seats are. If you wanted to look at how, for example, Tarrant County is divided up to say which House reps, Texas House reps represent us, you could click on state representatives up here at the left, and it would divide up Tarrant County as the red box in the middle. And those are all the Texas House reps, 99, 97, 96, 101, 94, 92. So a lot of folks represent Tarrant County in state government. And even though you're only voting for one of them, it's good to be aware of who else represents you in the state. So if we want to move on, then this is limited. This, I guess, the lowest on the totem pole, you could say, for sorry about that. The lowest ranking person on there would be the State Board of Education members. So then if you want to get down to exactly everybody who's going to be on your ballot, you can go to tarrantcounty.com. And down here, you will see elections. If you click on that, you will then see sample ballot. It's pretty prominent down here. What you'll have to do then is enter some very personal information. So we're going to skip over that by going to the next tab. If I can get this out of the way here. Oops. Hold on, let me close this tab. Okay, so I put my information in here, but I've scrolled down so you don't see that. Just keep things a little bit personal, but it gets very specific then. And it says my voter precinct number is 1719. Who my state rep is, it's state rep House District 97. US rep is Federal District 12, so forth, all down the line. But what will really drill down for you is if you go down here where it says ballots, and you can select the English Vietnamese or English Spanish Democratic primary ballot or the Republican primary ballot. And I've pulled those up as well. Let me close some of these tabs. And this is what the sample ballot looks like. So this is the ballot that I would see at my polling place. So if you put your address in there where I did, you can pull up the ballot that you will get at your polling place when you go to vote. And that will take you all the way down to district clerk, county probate court, things like that. So, and again, this is a primary ballot. So at this point, everyone on this ballot is running in the Democratic primary. If you were voting in the Republican primary, you'd see a completely different ballot, which I think I just switched over to. Yeah. And those are all the Republicans running in the Republican primary. When November, I mean, when the May election rolls around, you'll then you can pull up a sample ballot like this that will show who's running, the Democrats and the Republicans, on the final ballot. Yeah, so that's tarrantcounty.com to pull that up and go to the elections page. And another kind of cool resource is the Texas Tribune elections page. So you go to texastribune.org/directory, and I'll go back one here, and I put in the same address for Pascal High School up here at the top, and it will pull up your U.S. House District, Kay Granger, Texas House District 97, Craig Goldman, and on and on. And here you have nice color coding of Republican and Democratic elected officials. As you can see, heavily red for Tarrant County up here at the top. Oh, well, statewide, I should say. Then you're looking at state offices that are not localized, like governor, lieutenant governor, comptroller, etc. Anything else anybody wants me to add to this discussion of looking up votes? I think that Alex is going to put all these links in the comments for all of these streams that are going tonight.
Yeah, we'll put all these links in the comments, whatever platform you're watching us through. But I think it's just to reflect on. I mean, it's not the easiest thing in the world to try to find who represents you, what they do, what their roles are. This is why we highlight tarrantvotes.com, because they're trying to help expand on some of the information that is fragmented in different places and different spaces. And Tarrant for Change is also trying to complement that. How do we get this hub for Tarrant County residents to be able to get all of the key information they need for various pieces and various things? But it's not perfect. You know, it's far from perfect right now to help the everyday person really find easy, digestible ways to know who represents them, what's on the ballot, what does all this stuff mean. Just curious to have y'all's thoughts around seeing the different tools that are available, but also just the need to go to different places.
And I just pulled up to lift that up, Alex, Tarrant Vote's website again, and drilled down to something very local, the district clerk. And I mean, it's complicated, but it's nice to have a little summary here of a job description: manages business operations for elected courts, associate judges, and magistrates. Term is 4 years. Annual salary is $190,000. I mean, to be able to drill down and get that data, that's important, and it takes a lot of work, which is kind of mind-boggling when you look at that ballot I just pulled up and all the people there. And that's our responsibility as voters. And as we like to say too, our responsibility continues after the election, because we still have to reach out to these people. They're our representatives. We have to tell them what's important to us. But it is a lot of work to be involved in your democracy, for sure.
Yeah, when I was doing this, a month ago, when I was looking at everyone in Tarrant County, it took me 6 to 8 hours to find all the positions in Tarrant County and who's running for them. And that's crazy. I mean, and that was in the beginning of January. So yeah, so it was really hard to find that information. And the fact that voters would have to spend this amount of time to find out who's supposed to represent them and who's supposed to, be in these elected offices is absolutely absurd.
You guys know if anyone is kind of considered, any programmers have considered making apps out of these to kind of update and educate people on that? I know that there's a lot of software or a lot of websites and links available, but is there any app of any sort?
Not one that we can maybe talk in detail tonight, but I am aware there have been some projects of people working on some stuff. And I think there is an app or two that's trying to make it simpler for folks. But this has been something, especially over the last several years, people are trying to move forward on trying to address, not only for people to know who represents them, but also to know when decisions are being made by these different levels of government. So when, the state legislature is making decisions and how you can participate in giving feedback on certain bills, city council, Congress, things like that. And so it's a lot to keep up with. And we have a representative democracy. So our goal is to elect people who are going to represent our values to be able to then go make those decisions and pass laws on our behalf to where we can kind of trust them. But what we're seeing from a lot of folks is there's this frustration across the board with the decisions that are being made and the lack of decisions that's helping us in our day-to-day lives. And we're just seeing the numerous amount of inequities. And that goes back to Tarrant for Change's mission, where we're organizing, we're community organizers, we're collaborating with organizations throughout the county that are working for a safe, just, equitable, and inclusive community in Tarrant County, because we just are not seeing that right now, and we need to change that. And so that comes to the core of why we're trying to help people not only work together but get this information and get it easier. But it's a great thought, Ladi, that we need much more mainstream solutions for people to be able to have, so they can digest this and make this easily accessible. I have a lot of apps that make food delivery very easy for me. I can do Uber Eats, I can do DoorDash, I can do a couple of other options that I'm not thinking of right now. But if I want to know politics or know my civic education or stuff like that, I'm scratching my head where do I need to go for that, right?
No.
I mean, I think in addition, I think this is one of those things where you don't know what you need until you really get in a situation where you're looking at, wait a minute, I want to be able to share my thoughts, share a solution. We've just gone through, just this pandemic has just given a great deal of insight into how important our elected officials are and how important our representation is. And so I think what this has done is pushed us to say, wait a minute, this is hard. This is hard for me to find out who to talk to. And so that problem being a catalyst for a solution. And so something like that app, Ladi, or just what we're doing right now, using these platforms to actually share with people the information. This is the work of community organizing that has to kind of go before any of those things happen. And that is to say, hey, here's the need and it's urgent. So, yeah.
Lydia,
Yeah.
we should start a podcast.
Seriously.
It's funny you should say that.
I'll tell you, I already have a podcast and I was already getting political with it, but that was more on like US and nationwide issues because I listened to a lot of like the NPR stuff. But now, like knowing that this community exists for it and Tearing for Change, it would be cool to just have like a podcast episode monthly that just kind of like updates you. Like I'm good with the speaking part, but the knowledge and the know-how, it seems like you guys definitely already kind of have that. So I would just love to have y'all at like a round table and just kind of discuss these things on like that uncut podcast kind of format in the platform. So that's a good idea. And I already do that and have the experience and the know-how. So whenever you guys are ready to get the ball rolling on it, I'm definitely down.
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that because that's actually part of the plan. I don't want to, I may not be on it because I like people laughing at my jokes.
The feedback.
But yeah, I need feedback. I need validation. But,
that's why I'm here, Lydia. I'm your audience. I got you.
But that's actually part of the plan, which Alex and Ken can speak more to with the podcast.
Nice.
One thing I did want to mention too is, engaging people at the local level. And, as we've seen with everything that's happening with mask mandates, with the lack of protocols for COVID in the school districts, every terrible thing that's going on in these school districts, with anti-CRT and everything, we need people to come get involved. It starts at the schools, right? The school districts. And that was one of the big things with Tearing for Change was how do we get people engaged from the school district, city level to the county level, as well as make it fun.
Yeah, what honestly, I can speak for myself, and what you just said right there, Lydia, is that's actually specifically what got me involved was the schools and what was going on with the schools. And it hit home, it hit close to, my child. And at that point, I feel like I literally woke up and realized, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, who is responsible for this? Who can make these changes? Because that's even part of, I completely own it that I don't necessarily know these job descriptions. So as we were reading them, it's good to know like, oh, okay, so these people would be the ones that would influence these decisions. So maybe I need to be more awake about that and truly be there to vote so I can make a difference and, be able to impact what I know is happening now, where before maybe I wasn't as aware. But now that it, like you said, it hit home, now I really want to be involved to be able to make a difference. And now knowing who does what, that just makes a huge difference. And I think that we're doing right now, the information that you guys are also providing, the explanation how to find it is just giving us those tools that a lot of us really do need that would have been a lot more complicated to find. Or, sometimes you in the searching, you're like, oh, never mind, it's just too hard. Or dang it, I missed a deadline, that's it. I missed one deadline, so I can't vote for anything else. All of those little things I think do really make a big difference.
Yeah.
Another thing that was Alex, as we were kind of organizing, one of the things that became my concern was we were telling people like, go vote. And then when it was time to vote, not knowing who the candidates were, not knowing what they stood for, not understanding the ballot. And after we went and encouraged these people to like go vote, they went and voted. And then we came back and kind of debrief. You don't want to tell people how to vote, but you want to give people the information. And after they went to vote and they were telling me like, okay, yeah, I voted for this proposition or I voted against that. And I was like, no, you understood it wrong. It was like, and so what you thought you were voting for, you actually didn't. And so we realized it still needs to go a step further beyond just voter registration, vote beyond just like get out and vote. There has to be more conversation And like Lydia said, that's fun. So Ladi, like, yeah, when you can like break up the vibe with a water with the song Water and that type of thing, yeah, that's a good flow. You know, I agree with Leslie. Like, I can sit back a little bit better and hear some music and then break it up and then go back. It's like, it's totally a different vibe.
Yes, it is.
It's a voted vibe, which is like so much more cool this way. So
yes, it truly is.
Yeah, it really is. So it's yeah, this is good. This was good. This is good.
And I will admit that I'm very much relaxing with your music, Ladi, and then enjoying myself a little glass of wine. I don't know if this is allowed. Sorry, guys.
Hey, this is real talk. This is real talk, real life.
Hey.
Definitely come through the wine therapist.
Business. This is grown folks' business. When you have to be voting age to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I will second the idea and the thought of a podcast collaboration. There are some ideas around that. Ken here has some great experience as well. So a collaboration with you would be amazing. We'd love to have further conversations about that.
Definitely.
Well, next up we have is who is running. And so we're going to be heading back to our Instagram pages to share the rest of those slides that we have on there so people can see who is running. And then we're going to have another song from Ladi after that. So Ken, thank you so much for the backup for tonight with the bandwidth help. We have State Board of Education. Lydia, this is all you.
Oh, yeah. So who's running for District 11 for State Board of Education is and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce names. I really apologize. Patricia Hardy, Rebecca Garcia, Joshua Tarbay, and DC Caldwell. And they're running for Republican. And Patricia Hardy is the incumbent. And then for Democrat is Luis Miguel Cifuentes and DC Caldwell, which is interesting, right? Because we have him on both tickets. On both primaries, or not primaries, but yeah. And then next is State Board of Education for District 13 is Natalie Kahn, Adjua Mason, Catherine Monet. Am I saying this right? Okay.
Sounds good to me. It sounds good to me.
A. Denise Russell, and then Akia Davis. Okay, and so she is the incumbent for District 13.
And next up we have state senators.
Okay, so for Republican, Texas State Senator for District 9, for Republican is Kelly Hancock, and she's the incumbent. And then for Democrat is Gwen Burwood. For District 10, for Texas State Senator is Warren V. Norrid, Phil King for Republican, and then for Democrat is Beverly Powell, and she is the incumbent. For District 12 is Chris Russell and Tan Parker for Republican. For Democrat is Francine Lai and Ferdy Longo. For District 22 is for Republican is Brian Birdwell. He's the incumbent, and there is no Democrat running. And then I believe next is the Justice Second Court of Appeals. And then for Justice Second Court of Appeals, District Place 3 is for Republican is Elizabeth Kerr. She's the incumbent. And then for Democrat is Delonia A. Watson. And that is it. So as we mentioned, Ken quickly mentioned, there is a bit.ly link if you want to go check out who represents you. It's bit.ly/Tarrant reps. And then you can also go to Tarrant Votes as again to go see more information on these candidates. And the cool thing too with Tarrant Votes, there's a lot of cool things, but you can go and see their email, their Twitter, each candidate, email, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any public platform that they have, you can go see to do research on these candidates before early voting and before the election on March 1st. So make sure you go check out that website, Tarrant Votes, to learn more information. So that was all for who is running for the state government. And tomorrow we are going to go over the Texas state representatives. And that will actually be at 8 a.m. And that is going to be a lot of fun as well. And so these are just fun times. So I love hanging out with everyone on these. We have amazing organizers and amazing people in Tarrant County. And tomorrow we're going to be at Casa Azul in Fort Worth. And we're going to be trying, it's a coffee shop, and we're going to be trying their menu. So we'll talk about that more, but that is tomorrow at 8 a.m. So it's going to be a wake up with Casa Azul.
Yeah, and one thing to note, as we've talked about the Texas State Senate, and a lot of times when people ask who's your senator, they think of U.S. senators. They think of maybe Ted Cruz or John Cornyn. And it's important to know that we have two different levels of government when it comes to senators. We have our U.S. senators that are in Washington, D.C., that are part of the U.S. Congress. And we have two as a state of Texas. Every state has two senators. But then within state government, we have senators as well who go to Austin, Texas. And those senators, as we shared, there's 31 in the state of Texas that serve in Austin. And Tarrant County has several seats within that space. And so if you heard us talking about senators tonight and you're wondering why didn't we talk about Ted Cruz, why we didn't talk about John Cornyn, is because we are talking about the Texas state senators. And this is something that a lot of people get tripped up on. So we hope this provides some clarification for everyone around that as well. But all right, I think we've had a lot of chit chat, and I think all of us are excited for some more music. How about, what do y'all think?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's do it.
Woohoo.
All right. I'm gonna go a little upbeat with this one since the last one was a little sad. 1 second. Woo!
I do
That's
like
hot.
your shirt.
I
That's
know that
hot.
shirt. I do. You see the back of it, Lydia?
Where'd you
All
get
right.
it?
Can y'all hear this pretty well?
Yes.
All right. I wrote this song when I was in a fight with Kayla way in our earlier times. And I was like, I'm going to write a song that makes her feel jealous about how I'm the coolest person for her. And I was super lame at the time. It's called Superman. Take these arms and help yourself. I want your love for my health. Oh, my heart, now give yourself everything at my expense. It's been a predisposition to find you in this position all alone. Without a phone, yeah. It's been a predisposition to find you in this position, looking down without a sound now. But baby, have no fear, your Superman is here. Your Superman is here. Oh, my heart, now give yourself, 'cause there's love and freedom for my way. Oh, my hands, now give myself everything at my expense. It's been a predisposition to find you in this position all alone. Without a phone. It's been a predisposition to find you in this position, looking down without a sound now. But baby,
Yo, Superman, yeah. Yo, Superman, yeah. But baby, I don't feel your Superman. Your Superman is yeah.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
The thing I love about artists, especially ones that write their own music, is they'll casually put in like the life story about it. You know, because when he introduced it, he was like, "I got in a fight with her," and so you know that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's always
Music
like,
really kind of speaks to a certain truth. Like I can't lie about what I'm really saying in my songs. It's just like, and then to have to sing that several times when I'm performing and like know that that line is a lie, can't do it.
I do, before we do end, we're gonna share kind of what Ladi is up to and then some of his projects that he's working on. So I'm gonna share my screen, and Ladi, if you wanna just talk about these awesome projects that you're a part of.
Oh, gotcha. So I'm in as many groups as can humanly be possible. Because I like to cast a wide net to reach as many different audience as I can. So to kind of start it from the real core, there was me, just Ladi. I wasn't really doing a lot of music. And then I met Kayla and we made Iggy Meji, and that's the band in the middle. Iggy Meji has an album out, really an EP called Two Trees. Our YouTube channel is on the way this month because we finally got like the first 4 live recordings with full on footage and proper audio recording done for the first time in 2022. That was a goal we set for ourselves. So that's what's upcoming for Iggy Meji, that EP. And then we like to do a lot of like nice R&B covers and stuff. So you'll hear our originals and some of those covers on our YouTube channel. And then I had to figure out a way to get my rap voice out, because that was another thing that really helped me when I was in a dark place, is figuring out that poetic side and figuring out my rap. So that project is 808 Saints, and that's the first one listed on here. The first album, Beatus, which is Latin for blessings, is out now, kind of is in tone with that, being a saint and blessings. We're dropping a new single on the 14th of March, the 14th of April, and the 14th of May. We worked with a local engineer right here in Fort Worth who's producing for like Swisher House and Paul Wall. So it's kind of cool to still be in that same vein because these guys are in Tarrant County. And of course, I had to have the full-on jam band to be able to just play whatever, jam however, and just have fun. And that's what Group Nameless is. And it came from my first project as a solo artist, Sila Album Volume 1, which is also out now. And then later on, that group kind of evolved from being just my band. And now we're kind of figuring out the direction that we want to take with it. But we have a new single called Still. Group Nameless is really a lot of like revolutionary rhetoric and funky jazz fusion. So that is probably about as heavily handed and political like my music gets so far, until I write this UPS song. Until then, these are all the projects that I have out. You can find me on Ladi_the musician on Instagram. I on any major streaming platform. My company that I operate all these under is Syla Media, SYLA. Support your local artist. So if you ever just search Iggy Meji or Syla, you'll find me pop up on the internet or on Instagram somehow, somewhere. So that's it.
Well, I did actually, this is my bad. I did have the other one, your solo stuff real quick, if people want to see this.
Oh, yes. So yeah, if all of the music from all the projects wasn't already enough for you, Ladi, the solo musician, is still doing his thing and still collaborating with other artists in the process as well. So the Rando LP will drop sometime this year. I don't know what that will really entail entirely, but it will drop sometime this year. The Sila album volume 3 will also drop sometime this year. And the Sila album volumes are particular because no two volumes are the same with the same band people. It's always me pulling together all these artists and splitting the royalties with all of those artists. Because one of the biggest things I wanted to do when I got into music was make sure that I share the success that I get with whoever's working with me. And I think that's really in the same token as wanting better for our community collectively. So the Sila album volume is always me calling on different band members, asking them to join me in the recording process and paying them out by share of royalties and help and performing our music together. This will be the 3rd volume, and I'm focusing on a lot of my guitar work and crafting. So that'll be a different sound from the other Sila album volume 1 and 2, which are also out for me if you want to. My last solo was a project called Exhale, in which I got another local artist who has who plays these drums. I forget what they're called, but they're the large Japanese drums that comes in different sizes. So I was experimenting with different sounds. I forget what that is. I'm blanking on it, but it's a project called Exhale, and it features Kenna Sosa, who's another local Tarrant voice. She's an author and a librarian, and just different merges all around from Tarrant County. So that's all I have to say on my solo project. Thank you, Lydia.
Yeah, well, we're so happy that you were able to join us and all of the projects that you're working on, and your voice. You have great voice in general, but then
you didn't even sing on this one. We know you have a voice.
No. But
when you start trying to do stand-up comedy instead of singing?
Well, when I realized, yeah. But I get 1 out of 5 laughs, so that's all I need to succeed. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was great. So make sure you go support Ladi and his music. In Tarrant County, we need to support our local musicians, and go listen to every stream, every song you listen to is helpful. Every time you share it on social media is helpful. So go share his stuff. If you're watching this, go right now and share his stuff. And yeah, let's go and support Ladi. So thank you so much, Ladi, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. Real question about tomorrow. Is that a virtual or is that an in-person meeting, the 8 a.m. one?
It'll be half and half. We'll have some folks at Casa Azul, which is in Northside Fort Worth. And then we'll have some folks logging in virtually and participating. If
someone could send me the virtual link, I would like to join in on that.
Oh, nice. Back to back.
If you want to go,
I'm already up working at 8 a.m. So I'll be able to join in on the stream easy.
Well, we'll coordinate with you, Ladi, to see if we can get some beverages sent your way so you can enjoy some Casa Azul.
Nice. Appreciate that.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for a great evening, learning about the primaries, hearing some amazing music. Any final thoughts before we sign off for the night?
Join us tomorrow, 8 a.m., bright and early.
Stop by.
Spread the word.
Charge up with the caffeine. That was awesome tonight, Ladi. Thanks so much.
Yes,
thanks, Ken.
Absolutely.
Good vibe. Appreciate
it. Yeah, to anybody out there listening, voting is really so important. I really only at the last 2-3 years have been listening and tuning in to what's happening on a national level, at least with both parties. And I know that really is only serving to point me to focus my attention to the local level. But the democracy that we all know and love and take for granted is definitely in a very, very weird historical point, if I'm understanding all the information being presented to me. And it now is more, I think, more imperative to just be aware about it. So while any of the information shared today might have been overwhelming, just start somewhere. I looked at the Tarrant for Change Instagram page, and that bit.ly/vote in Tarrant is literally the link in their bio immediately. So you can click that and immediately get access to who represents you and just start learning about something somewhere. And I think the rest of it will kind of flow in from there. So just educate yourselves as much as you can by just starting somewhere, and you'll hopefully start to see the picture, and then you can kind of resonate with your community on what's going on. So
yeah.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We hope y'all have a great rest of the night. See you in the morning.
See you in the mornings.